What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Ghost. This is part 3 of 7 years in the game and everything that I've learned from being in this industry. So this is my tell-all video series about what got me into this industry and everything I've learned since I've been in this industry. So here we go, part 3. I left Warner and I ended up going to Night. My sister's baby daddy, he was the reason why I went to Night. I went to Night because of him. He told me I could be local. But mind you, when I got into this industry, I didn't get into this industry to work and drive trucks the rest of my life. I just needed something. I just needed to learn the game so I could basically buy my own truck. I just didn't know nothing. I didn't know how to do it. So 6 months in the game, I go over to Night thinking like, okay, I can learn some stuff over here. Mind you, only time I really got on YouTube and watched YouTube videos was for when I first got my CDL. And I think I was following E, the trucker. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was on Facebook back then, but I wasn't really on it like that. I wasn't in trucking groups. I wasn't in none of that. I was just, you know, out here doing my thug dizzle as a company dude at Night. And I remember I ran into this dude that they called Cheeseburger. He did a lease, and I had ran into my boy CT out of Arizona. He had just became a lease. He had just started his lease purchase with Night. I think my first 2 weeks, he was into his 2 weeks with the lease purchase at Night. And I ran into him over in Corning, California at the Petro. We sat down and were eating together. I figured, you know, it's a black brother. I'm going to sit down with you and chop it up. And that's what I did. Sat down with him and he broke down like he had just got his truck. His dad was there too, was with Night too. And he was just, you know, dropping jewels on how his dad was basically teaching him the game. And he had started his lease. Mind you, now, to this day, he still has that truck. That truck is paid off. This was in 2012 that he had bought that. He did the lease with Night. It's 2019. He owns that truck outright. And he still has it to this day because I'll call him or I'll run into him on the road. So I'm sitting there like, okay, cool. This he's got me motivated. Like, all right, yeah, I'm about to get me a truck, get me a Volvo or a Pete or something. So I'm pumped up. So he told me to look into Night's lease purchase. So that's what I did. I remember calling my ex-wife talking about, hey, I think I figured out how to getting the truck into this industry. So I started looking into Night's lease purchase, and I was like, okay, cool. You know what? I'm about to really dive head first into this. And that's what I was like, cool. So me and her, we started looking into it. And mind you, my ex-wife was a number cruncher. Like, if she could have been an accountant, that would have been her strong point, because she could break down stuff and create a spreadsheet and all that. So I basically broke it down to her, showed her the truck and all that. She created a spreadsheet, broke it all down, and then we sat down and we looked at the numbers, and we realized that it wasn't going to be in our best interest to do a lease purchase with Night, because it wouldn't make financial sense. So then I'm like, well, if I don't do that, then what could I do? So I kept running company. I was there for 6 months, and I ended up leaving, and I ended up going to FedEx, because me and Night, I mean, the way it didn't make financial sense to lease with them, because I was barely getting miles, and I'm a runner. And if I'm barely getting miles as a company guy, I told myself, and my ex-wife too, she was like, then you'll barely get miles as an owner-operator, so why would you want to do that? And I was like, yeah, she's right. So I end up going over to FedEx. I went to FedEx, and I did the whole thing with FedEx. Got on with them, and I got on with them as a company driver, and because I had already had my doubles and triples and all that other stuff. So I went over there because I basically figured like, okay, cool, this is basically gonna be a better outfit for me, because this will give, because the contractor that I got hired on with told me that I could do, that he would allow me to become an owner operator over there. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be here for a while. Mind you, when I was at night, my highest check was like $700 as a company guy. I got over to FedEx, my highest check was like $900 to like $1,200. And I'm like, damn, I never knew that you could make that much money as a company guy. And that was on W-2, that wasn't 1099. So I'm like, damn, this is pretty dope. So, you know, I was at night for like 6 months, and I ended up leaving and going over to FedEx. Mind you, there's a pattern to all this. So if anybody can understand the pattern of this, you'll understand how I move. So I was at FedEx for about 6 months, because, you know, told myself, give me 6 months to figure this out. 3 months to make my mistakes, another 3 months to basically excel to whatever level I'm trying to get to. So I was there 6 months, and I walk up to the contractor, and he was all telling me about how I had like the Range Rover, and his car, my car was nicer than his, and I had the Scion with the butterfly doors and all that, you know, just shooting the shit. So we're all talking and all that, and we ended up getting on a subject of basically becoming an owner op. I was like, hey, so can we look at that owner op proposal like I had we talked about? And he's like, no, I'm not trying to hire on the owner operators. And I'm like, damn, why not? And he's like, oh, because, you know, it's just a conflict of interest, and, you know, we got our lanes and all this and all that. Mind you, I had made friends at FedEx, so they were telling me to go talk to him about doing it, because he's a nice dude. But when it came to that, he was like, nah, the way you are, nah, I'm cool. He's like, nah, you'll become my competition, and I don't want that. And I'm sitting up there like, wow, really? And I remember my ex-wife's mom had passed away, and I'm at the hospital, and it had just happened. Well, actually, this was the morning before it happened. I had took off because I was supposed to go to Connecticut, and I remember I called he was like a manager for the contractor, and I had told him, hey, my ex-wife's mom's not looking good. I think she's gonna pass away, so I'm not gonna be able to go out. I gotta take some time off, especially if she does. I'm gonna need at least like 2 to 3 weeks off. So she ended up passing, and the dude called me the day it happened. I pick up the phone, and he's like, oh, you ready to go back to work? I got you scheduled on something. And I remember I went off on him, and right after that I was just like, I'm good. Like, and when I told him that, it pissed him off, and then it made him feel some type of way. So when it made him feel some type of way, when I went back to work, he like railroaded me, and I was just like, man, like, I'm good. Like, I don't need this. Like, I'm straight, for real. So that was when I had talked to my uncle at UPS, and that was when he had basically broke down that he knew somebody that was an owner operator that was willing to help train me to become an owner operator, and he would teach me the game. So I'm like, finally, you know, I'm making some progress in this whole road to becoming this owner operator. Because mind you, I still didn't really watch YouTube videos. Like, I didn't think to get on YouTube and look up owner operators and stuff, because I wasn't really on the internet like that. So I'm like, all right, I talked to my uncle. My uncle gave me the dude's number. Me and the dude met up. We broke bread, and I remember we met up at Ruth Chris. It was my first time going there, and I'm like, the heck? It's an owner operator meet me at Ruth Chris. Mind you, I still don't know nothing about being an owner op. I don't know nothing really too much about being a truck driver besides being a company guy, and the pay sucks. And you gotta be gone long periods of time. That's all I knew. So I met up with this dude at Roof Chris, And I'm gonna tell y'all in the next video about that situation in UPS. So love, peace, prosperity, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Deuces.